Hello, friends, and welcome to today's live level up discussion. And welcome to the show. We've got so much to discuss, so let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Award-winning financial pro. Get ready. Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. It's wonderful to see you here, and I see many of you joining us live. So thanks so much for making this special, Wednesday already. Thank you so much for making this Wednesday special. I hope that you've been having a good week. We have so much to discuss, and mainly let's start here. Let's talk about the financial markets. But just before we do that, for those of you who are brand new to the show, I'm Winnie, your host, an award-winning financial pro, a Forbes contributor, and of course, a CNBC council member and contributor. And we are streaming here live, and we are here to talk about the markets. Now, if you've been watching the markets or you've been reading the financial news, you've probably been feeling a little skittish because currently this could actually end up being the worst day of 2024 so far for the financial markets. Currently, the Dow is down 418 points. But get this, the NASDAQ is down 613 points currently. And the market hasn't closed yet. There's still some time to go, but it looks like we're probably going to end up in the negative here. The S&P 500 is also down 116 points. So yikes, not a good way certainly to start off the show, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, NASDAQ, S&P 500 now are plunging. Very disappointing results coming from many of the major tech names. Now, you may have seen significant sell-off occurring today because we've been seeing some underwhelming earnings reports from some of the major tech companies, many of that you're familiar with. So we're looking at possibly the worst day of 2024 for the financial markets today. Now, it's important to know that even though some of the tech names that you know and love have had disappointing numbers this week, it's still important to note that about 80% of the companies who have reported earnings thus far in the S&P 500 have reported really good earnings, topping earnings expectations. So this isn't everybody that's doing poorly. So that's key. Now, we will have some really important news, though, in addition to that. For those of you who are investing, I would say this. If your time horizon is long and you are well diversified, and you are comfortable with risks, then this is one of those days. It's probably a good idea not to check your statements and to let this continue to, play out. Now, if you are like losing sleep and you're stressing out right now and you're feeling like you can't handle this volatility, then I strongly suggest that you instead reach out to a financial advisor, a professional, or somebody who knows investing very, very well to give you a really an objective assessment. Don't make any sudden movements with markets like this. So it's important to keep calm, but also be realistic. If your portfolio is unbalanced, overly weighted in one particular sector or even one particular stock, I highly recommend that you reach out to a professional, to a financial advisor. That's what we're trained to do. All right. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the big news making headlines in addition to the markets. And one of these is, of course, on the topic of AI. Now, you all know Chatgpt, OpenAI. We talked a lot about that technology on our show here. But you may not have heard about this one. And this one they're saying is going to be groundbreaking and possibly even, take over the AI sort of general universe for some of the big heavyweights right now. And this is coming from Meta, the parent company of Facebook, with their AI technology called Llama 3.1. Kind of fun how it's named after a llama, right? But Meta is launching Llama 3.1, which they say is going to be the largest open source AI model. And they're even saying that this is going to outperform competitors such as ChatGPT and Claude. And some of the highlights they said is this. They said in terms of performance, it can't be beat. It's going to surpass many private models and benchmarks. And in fact, CEO Mark Zuckerberg expects Meta AI to become the most used AI assistant by the end of this year in 2024. And he thinks this is going to overtake ChatGPT. So for those of you like myself who are out there who are ChatGPT users, I think, I'm interested to see what this will be like, and I think it'll be good to have more competition to see how AI can continue to improve our working lives for sure. So Llama 3.1 is going to feature 405 billion parameters and was trained on over 16,000 NVIDIA GPUs, and I guess it uses synthetic data to enhance like these smaller models, and it's all about open source and partnerships, and they're supporting partners such as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, and many others. But this model, they say, is going to cost about half as much to run versus OpenAI Chat GPT or GPT. So definitely one to watch, and then we'll definitely see how this unfolds. I'm curious to see when they're going to open this up for all of us to test, and then when it becomes open to test, I would love to see your thoughts on the comparison and if you think it is really that much better. And a big welcome! I see Carlos joining us on YouTube Live. Thank you so much, Carlos, for being here, and thank you so much for being part of our tweet chat community. But we don't have our tweet chat today, so thank you so much for being on our live show today. And of course, CrossTech Spider, thank you so much, Joshua, for being on YouTube Live as well. Always a treat. And I see a lot of you on all the different platforms. So thank you so much for making the time. Now, next story I want to share with you is a big one. If you've been like traveling, or thinking about traveling this summer, you may have been impacted by a CrowdStrike software bug, if you will. I mean, honestly, when I heard about this news and I was talking to a lot of folks in the financial industry, we actually thought it was some sort of cyber attack that took a lot of technology down. A lot of platforms of financial industry got hit, the travel, and also airlines. Well, this story was shared by Tim Warren on The Verge, talking about CrowdStrike. If you haven't heard of the company, you're probably not alone, but CrowdStrike, I guess they have come out and says we realize that there was a huge crash in our technology that impacted many, many people, causing 8.5 million Windows machines to crash. But they are saying that this was due to a recent software update. I guess abort on this software update. But the bug in the test software failed to properly validate a content update, which led then to major technology issues across the globe and widespread crash. In fact, this problematic update was a 40 kilobyte rapid response content file, which was originally designed to make things better, right? But I guess it didn't. So in many cases, they've aborted it and they've taken away this system update. But before they did that, it impacted a lot of people. And speaking of lot of people, this is still trickling. In fact, Delta Airlines reported this week that it's still recovering from the outage, and but they're expecting that things will be back to normal by tomorrow. Now, this story is shared by NBC News by Rob Weil, talking about how with Delta Airlines, due to the CrowdStrike Microsoft issue, well, they experienced significant issues. In fact, 47 canceled flights on Wednesday and 242 flight delays. And they're saying that a significant storm system in the southern US also could have contributed to these disruptions, but mostly it seems like CrowdStrike definitely played a role there. But they're saying by tomorrow things should be better, so hopefully that's the case. But it just goes to show you how sensitive everything is. It's not just weather that's unpredictable, but now worrying about cyber attacks. But in this case, not a cyber attack, but in this case, still an IT technology issue that took down so many travelers during this very busy Sunday travelers summer travel season. So, in addition, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is saying that he really wants to take a look at what happened, and also saying that passengers who were impacted due to these like cancellations or delays, that they are entitled to cash refunds if they declined rebookings. So that's key. So if you're watching and you were impacted due to your flight, definitely put in comments and let us know. And it's not just Delta, I should mention. I also read American Airlines. Many other airlines were also impacted. But if you were impacted, put in comments. Let us know what happened. Did you get your refund? Were you able to get rebooked? Were you able to eventually get to where you needed to be? Because this was a big thing. But yes, the Department of Transportation is definitely looking at it, and there's a lot more information on their website as well as the airline themselves website to hopefully get you through and get the answers that you might need during this time. All right, speaking of all things technology, there's another one that I'm curious to see your thoughts on. Okay. And Sadiq, it's great to Sadiq is here. It's wonderful to see you on YouTube Live. We've missed you, Sadiq, on the show. So thanks so much for making the time. I want to talk about Sadiq Neil. Let me know your thoughts on this one. The FTC is now investigating surveillance pricing when it comes to your shopping and consumer costs, right? This was shared on CBS Money Watch, okay, and the talking about the Federal Trade Commission's investigation into companies such as Chase or JP Morgan Chase and Mastercard and others who use your personal data to implement surveillance pricing, which could potentially lead to you paying more depending on what they found. So, here are some of the key points. So, what is surveillance pricing? This is also known as dynamic pricing or what they call price optimization. Sounds like a PR term here. But basically, this is a practice which involves using your personal data to set individualized prices for various consumers. So hypothetically, what you pay and I pay and another person pay could be actually different prices depending on the dynamic pricing and this price optimization model. So companies, of course, collect data such as where you are in terms of location, your credit history, even what type of device. Are you using mobile? Are you using your laptop, your desktop? And even places that you've browsed to or your habits to tailor the prices that you're being shown. So the FTC's inquiry is now targeting these major companies and trying to figure out whether or not this is okay. The companies are being asked to provide information on their surveillance of these different pricing products and services that they've developed and licensed. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's fair that depending on where you've been, what you've been shopping for, maybe the things you've been communicating online, that would impact, the price that you pay on something that you're shopping for? So many retail giants such as Amazon and Walmart, as well as, a lot of those ride sharing companies, well, they all use dynamic pricing to enhance when they can make more money, like profits, right? I think even like places like Disneyland, they do this, right? Depending on crowds and things like that. But with advances in AI and machine learning, it's now made it cheaper and easier for these different companies to collect our info and decide on how they're going to price things to us. So, like it, don't like it, do you agree that the FTC should investigate this, or do you think this is an area where the government should keep their hands off and let the businesses decide that and consumers decide based on their shopping? Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how you feel about that though, because I think, especially as we discuss AI and we discuss technology and things continue to evolve and advance and get more creative and get more nimble, how much of it are we going to credit to, okay, great, advances in AI, great, or are we saying, okay, that's great that there is AI, but when it comes to my bottom line and my household's bottom line in terms of how much we spend on our budget, I would like things to be more transparent. And then there's the idea and the concept of, personal privacy. Are we comfortable with these companies knowing where we shop, what we're talking about, what we're looking at, and then decide on how to price things for us to get us to buy more and to spend more and for them to earn more? A lot of questions. I got the questions, but I'd love to see your answers. And thank you so much, my friends, for being a part of today's Level Up. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest content, business content. And of course, watch previous full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun. You can check out NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, Roku, and many other streaming platforms. And thank you so much, everyone, for sharing this show online. It's been incredible. Huge thank you to Joshua, Michael, Stephen. We see Stephanie, Carrie, and many, many others sharing. And when you do, make sure to tag at Winnie Sun so I can see your support and thank you on a future episode. And with that, don't forget to check out Yes Factor with Winnie Sun, which is our podcast that can also be found on the Apple Podcast. With that, I hope that you have a beautiful week and I'll talk to you very soon. Take care. Be well. Bye bye now.